Welcome to this channel. Today, we're diving into the latest Bitcoin predictions, where it's heading next, key price levels to watch, and what the experts are saying. And by the way, feel free to save these no copyright AI result images. First, understanding market predictions is a crucial aspect of navigating the cryptocurrency landscape. Bitcoin price prediction videos are a common source of such information for investors and analysts. However, these videos can often be lengthy and filled with detailed analysis. The objective is to distill the core message of such a video into a concise and informative summary. This process aims to capture the essential elements without requiring the viewer to watch the entire original content. A well-structured summary saves time and highlights the most critical points. Our target is to create a summary approximately 400 words in length. This length allows for sufficient detail while remaining easily digestible. Achieving this requires a systematic approach to information extraction and synthesis. The fundamental prerequisite for this entire process is access to the specific Bitcoin price prediction video itself. Without the source material, no summary can be generated. The video's content forms the sole basis for our analysis and subsequent summary. The absolute necessity is the availability of the particular Bitcoin price prediction video designated for summarization. This is not a theoretical exercise. It requires a concrete piece of content to work from. The video serves as the primary data source. The content contained within the video is entirely essential for the creation of any summary. Every prediction, argument, and caveat must originate from the spoken words and presented information within that specific video. The summary is a reflection of the video's content, not an independent analysis. Once the required video is accessible, a structured process is followed to extract the necessary information. This process ensures that all critical aspects of the prediction are identified and documented. It moves from identifying the headline predictions to understanding the underlying rationale and potential limitations. This systematic approach guarantees that the resulting summary is comprehensive yet focused. It prevents overlooking key details that could significantly impact the interpretation of the prediction. The steps are sequential and build upon each other. The first and most immediate step is to pinpoint the main forecasts presented in the video. This involves listening specifically for explicit price targets and outlooks. These are often the most anticipated pieces of information for viewers. The purpose here is to extract the headline numbers and directional calls. What price levels are being suggested? Is the overall outlook bullish, bearish, or neutral? This step provides the core prediction statement. Specific elements must be carefully identified during this initial pass. These are the quantifiable or clearly stated outcomes the video predicts. Accuracy in capturing these details is paramount for the summary's integrity. The main price targets mentioned are the most obvious points to capture. These could be specific dollar amounts, ranges, or percentage increases, decreases. Note all significant price levels discussed as potential future points. Equally important are the associated timeframes for these predictions. A price target is significantly more meaningful when linked to a specific date, month, year, or general period, e.g., by year-end in the next quarter. Predictions without timeframes are less actionable. Furthermore, identify any potential catalyst driving these predictions. What events, trends, or factors does the presenter believe will cause Bitcoin's price to move towards the predicted target? These catalysts provide context for the forecast. Identifying the predictions is only the first part. Understanding why those predictions are made is equally critical. Step 2 focuses on dissecting the rationale provided in the video. This involves summarizing the evidence and reasoning presented. The purpose of this step is to understand the foundation upon which the prediction rests. What analysis or information is used to justify the forecast? This adds credibility and depth to the summary. Various types of analysis and reasoning may be employed in a prediction video. Summarizing these different components provides a complete picture of the presenter's perspective. This includes both technical and fundamental factors. The primary reasons provided for the predictions should be clearly articulated. This might involve discussions of market sentiment, macroeconomic conditions, regulatory developments, or adoption rates. Capture the main narrative supporting the forecast. Technical analysis, or TA, components are frequently used in price predictions. If the video references chart patterns or indicators, these must be noted. Summarize how TA is used to support the predicted price movement. Specific chart patterns discussed are important details. Mentioning patterns like head and shoulders, flags, pennants, or triangles indicates the technical basis for the prediction. Explain how the presenter interprets these patterns. Technical indicators referenced also provide insight into the analysis method. Indicators, such as the Relative Strength Index (RSI), Moving Average Convergence Divergence (MACD), or various moving averages are common. Note which indicators are used and what signals they are said to be showing. Fundamental analysis, or FA, components are also crucial. This involves factors related to the underlying value or adoption of Bitcoin. Summarize any non-chart-based reasons given for the prediction. Relevant news events cited can significantly influence fundamental analysis. Mentioning specific news items, regulatory changes, or corporate adoption announcements provides context. Explain how these events are linked to the price prediction. Discussion of adoption trends is another key fundamental factor. Growth in user numbers, institutional investment, or use cases can support a bullish or bearish view. Summarize any data or arguments related to Bitcoin adoption. Finally, note any other influencing factors mentioned that don't neatly fit into TA or FA categories. This could include geopolitical events, market psychology, or unique models developed by the presenter. Capture all significant reasons provided. A responsible prediction video will often include caveats and potential pitfalls. Step 3 is dedicated to identifying these limitations and factors that could invalidate the forecast. This adds balance and realism to the summary. The purpose here is to note potential downsides, counterarguments, and conditions under which the prediction might fail. This is crucial information for anyone considering the prediction for investment purposes. It provides a more complete risk assessment. Specific elements related to risks and uncertainties must be carefully identified. These are the parts of the video where the presenter discusses what could go wrong or what they might be wrong about. Ignoring these aspects would create a misleading summary. Any warnings issued by the presenter should be captured. This might include general market volatility warnings or specific risks related to Bitcoin. Note any explicit cautions given to the audience. Potential downsides discussed are also vital. What negative scenarios does the presenter acknowledge? This could involve potential price drops, regulatory crackdowns, or technical issues. Summarize the risks highlighted. Crucially, identify factors that could invalidate the predictions. The presenter might state that their forecast relies on certain conditions holding true. If those conditions change, the prediction may no longer be valid. Note these invalidating factors. Beyond the specific numbers and arguments, it's important to capture the general tone and outlook of the video. Step 4 focuses on identifying the overall sentiment conveyed by the presenter. This provides a qualitative feel for the prediction. The purpose is to describe the general mood and perspective regarding Bitcoin's future price movement. Is the presenter overwhelmingly positive, negative, or taking a balanced view? This helps categorize the prediction. Sentiment categories to identify are typically bullish, bearish, or neutral. Determine which of these best describes the presenter's overall stance throughout the video. Sometimes a mix might be present, but usually one dominates. Bullish sentiment indicates a belief that the price is likely to increase significantly. Bearish sentiment suggests an expectation of a significant price decrease. Neutral sentiment implies a belief that the price will remain relatively stable or move sideways. The overall outlook for Bitcoin, as presented in the video, should be clearly stated. Is the long-term view positive or negative? What is the short-term expectation? Summarize the overarching perspective conveyed. The final core step is to synthesize all the extracted information into the target summary format. This involves combining the identified predictions, arguments, risks, and sentiment into a coherent and brief text. This is where the raw notes are transformed into the final output. The purpose is to create a clear and easy-to-understand output that captures the essence of the video. The summary should be accessible to someone who has not seen the original content. It must convey the most important takeaways effectively. The goal is to produce a summary that is both concise and informative. It should be short enough to read quickly but contain enough detail to be useful. This requires careful selection and phrasing of the extracted points. Integration of all identified elements is key to a comprehensive summary. The summary must weave together the different pieces of information gathered in the previous steps. It should flow logically from prediction to rationale to risks. Specifically, the key predictions must be clearly stated up front or early in the summary. The price targets and timeframes are often the most sought-after information. Make these prominent in the summary. The supporting arguments should be summarized concisely. Explain the main reasons given for the prediction, referencing the key TA and FA points without going into excessive detail. Focus on the types of arguments made. The risks and uncertainties highlighted in the video must also be included. Mention the main warnings or factors that could invalidate the prediction. This provides necessary balance in context. Finally, the overall sentiment should be conveyed. State whether the video was predominantly bullish, bearish, or neutral. This helps frame the entire prediction for the reader. Adherence to the target word count, in this case, 400 words, is a critical constraint for this step. The synthesis process must be efficient, prioritizing the most important information to fit within the limit. This requires careful editing and condensation. Following these structured steps allows for the systematic analysis of a Bitcoin price prediction video. It ensures that all essential components of the prediction, its justification, and its limitations are identified. This process moves from initial identification to detailed analysis, and finally to synthesis. Upon receiving the specific Bitcoin price prediction video, this process can be initiated. The steps outlined provide a clear roadmap for extracting the relevant information efficiently and accurately. The readiness to proceed is contingent solely on the availability of the source material. The anticipated outcome of this process is a clear and concise understanding of the video's predictions. The resulting summary will provide the key price targets, the main reasons behind them, the acknowledged risks, and the overall sentiment. This delivers the core value of the video in a readily accessible format.